Thank you so much for tuning in to Schooling the System. Today we have an amazing, poppin', gorgeous guest, Melissa Alakayi, caterer, image
Mm,
consultant, and
mm.
skincare expert based out of Houston, Texas. Girl, how are you?
Hey, Pearl.
You have a lot going on. Look at all this. You're a serial entrepreneur.
That is a goal. That's always been a goal for me. It's just to take on and tackle my desires.
Yeah, no, girl, I see you. Okay, we see each other.
Thanks.
When did you know that you wanted to take on an entrepreneurial path?
So honestly, I've always been somebody that indulges in multiple things.
Mhm.
Beginning with obviously like the food and the fashion, like my have always played a role in my life. But when I went to college, I went to Oklahoma State University, and I initially started as a merchandising major, but I was minoring in international business.
Mm.
You know what? I love this focal point of merchandising, but I love the genre of business as a whole. So I just want to go ahead and wholeheartedly do that because I feel like with business, there's no limitation.
That's so true. I think it's so
Yeah.
interesting how you transitioned from merchandise. Well, you kind of still work with merchandise, correct?
In a sense, yeah, dealing with product, like anything that is with products, retail, whatever industry you're in, it's merchandising.
Yeah, and I'm sure you learned obviously business and international business, probably a little bit different, but still.
Yeah.
Would you say that your college experience and your college major kind of helped you come into these businesses and become a business owner?
I definitely will. Like for somebody like me, like my degree serves its purpose as far as just being in the business industry. Um, you still feel like you can achieve these things without that line of degree. But just having the background of fundamentals definitely was beneficial.
That's amazing. I think that the part that sticks out to me the most, though, is that you are a caterer. I'm a food girl. I'm a foodie. So I just want to know
Girl.
how did you learn to cook? When did you learn to cook? I need to know.
That's everybody's first question when it's like, how did you learn to cook? And to me, it stems from so many parts. Like growing up when I was younger, I'm technically the oldest. I have a stepbrother, but I'm the oldest in the house.
Yeah.
And so I was always the one initiated to be the second line to cook. And my stepmom wasn't a big cooker, and I was always with older cousins. So like, I really got intrigued in the Food Network. That
Mm,
like I don't know if you're familiar with Rachel Ray's 30-minute meals.
I
So
definitely am.
exactly. So I would pretend like, okay, Rachel Ray's 30-minute meals. And then from that point, like coming from a big family, being Nigerian, we eat big, we eat a lot, and it's all
Mhm.
the thing to do. So and my dad, he also went to school in Louisiana. And so we have a lot of like family and friend ties there. So that's what gave me my genre and style of cooking, like that whole Southern Cajun style is just being surrounded by them because a lot of they cook as well. So it's just the, I guess, the growth of being around people.
It's like it seems like it's like been embedded in your bones since the beginning.
Yeah, like and then when, going to school in Oklahoma, and Stillwater is a small town, and that's when Meals by Mail really actually formulated, was my senior year at OSU.
That's awesome. So what
Right.
do you love about catering?
Catering for me, I genuinely love events. Like I said, we've always done birthday parties. Like I celebrate everything. And I feel like food is a fundamental part of your event. Like it sets the tone or it can either ruin the tone.
So true.
It's like, that's a major impression for something. So caterers, I feel like our purpose goes beyond just the food, like the ambiance, the aesthetic that you're providing, the taste buds that you're leaving with these people, all of and all experience. So for me, that's what I really love about catering, is just because it's deeper than just the food.
And before I even ask my next question, let me just say two things. Number one, spot on about food being the center of attention at events. Like, if the food is bad, the event is bad.
Exactly. Like you don't want nothing else.
Yeah, and I know you make amazing food because you did one of my birthday events in the past, and it was
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks.
Like I mean, I don't live in Houston anymore, but just to know when I'm back in there and I'm doing an event.
Please, you know, you are welcome. I have you on my VIP list.
Yeah, so that leads me into my next question. What is your favorite dish to cook?
I really enjoy cooking different things. I love using spices. So anything that allows me to use like a lot of spices, peppers and stuff like that.
Mm,
But my go-to would be like my smothered baked chicken.
mm.
Cause really I love like comfort foods. So like that authentic like rice and gravy. You know, Nigeria, we love rice. So anything with rice wins me over too. So that's my top one.
Honestly, my favorite food is chicken, smothered, fried, baked,
Yes, like you
grilled,
can't go wrong with chicken.
at all, at all. So if we turn the tables, what is the dish that you hate to cook or you just don't like to, but you'll do it, obviously, but you just don't really like to cook it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Crab meat sometimes because it takes forever to get the oceany smell. Really, a lot of seafood, but for some reason, crab meat to me is like the worst.
Mm.
So I don't like to deal a lot with crab meat unless it's like a stuffed bell pepper or something. But really, is not one of my faves.
How do you get rid of that ocean smell out of seafood? Especially,
Lime or vinegar.
okay, writing that
Yeah,
down.
I say use that anytime you're cooking, right? Anytime you're cleaning meat or see lime and vinegar,
Pulling
but
out my pen,
that
writing
definitely
that down.
get your handy dandy notebook.
No, seriously, because I always wonder. I mean, I love seafood, but sometimes the smell is just so.
Yeah, the smell, and I don't think people realize like that smell staying in affects it when it's done cooking because I feel like you get the aftertaste or the after smell.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's kind of. It ends up ruining like my appetite a little bit. I'm like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
No, no, let's if we switch gears a little bit, I want to know a little bit about your work as an image consultant for your company, Unscripted Styles. What inspired you to pursue that?
Unscripted style. Like I said, fashion has always been something that I've been intrigued in. More so, not like the design, just like with the business aspect of things. So that's initially why I did merchandising when I first started OSU's because I wanted to be a fashion buyer, and just kind of experiment with different areas of it. And then as well as I joined a fashion program, called the Irregular Fashion Exposure, or the Irregular Exposure Program. And it just was for emerging fashion designers or fashion leaders. And it gave me a different outlook on it. So that kind of transitioned me from wanting to be like in the buying industry or like even a hands-on designer to like more so like image and creative directing and styling. So when I was living in Dallas in 2017, that was more so what I focused on was like that retail knowledge, that visual merchandising. Like I was a visual merchandising at Forever 21. And so I did that and I was like, okay, you know what? I like this, but I want to be able to create and present. Like I like photos and capturing moments. So that's where that image consultant is like, let me help shape, you know, your idea of a look, but let me put the unscripted style to
Yeah, I might need you to come check out my outfit
it.
because all my friends are always coming for me talking about what
Girl,
is
Pearl, you got all the style.
like what are wedges doing in your closet in 2021?
Oh, yeah, let the wedges go. You know, I saw a meme today about wedges too. Like, we won't talk about it. We're just gonna do it for you, okay?
We have to. We'll chat later. But where do you find your style or your fashion inspiration? Are there any celebrities or is it from your upbringing?
I like if I had like celebs off the rip would be Tiana. Currently, it would be like Tiana Taylor.
Mm,
So, Kiki Palmer is another one. Just like that I feel like that match my aura, my style, my persona more so because I feel like your style is also your persona.
it's true.
Um, so those are my top leaders. I derive my style from just a variety of places. Like I feel like I have a universal style, and that's what led me to calling it unscripted styles because I feel like my expertise of fashion, there's no there's a right, obviously, by the book, but then obviously when you're expressing yourself with these aesthetics and these clothing, who's to say that doesn't look, like it's your sense of style. So,
Yep.
fashion has no script.
Yeah, and I think that the one line that you said was um, style is about also about your persona, and I think
Right.
that is so true because like for me, I'm a tomboy, so I'm gonna dress
Mhm.
very like very chill, kind of bougie
Right.
and things of that nature. Don't get me
Sweats,
wrong, I can get
hoodies.
dressed up.
Yeah, like you can make those things look, totally fabulous. That's the crazy thing about it.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
like
So I think that's the best thing about fashion and style is that you can dress it up, you can dress it down, and it's just what fits you.
right.
And
Exactly.
that's amazing. I kind of want to know more about your other business, Sultry Aesthetics. It's all about
Yes.
skin, and I love that. So
And
why is skincare important to you?
so honestly, social aesthetics is something that I developed through this pandemic actually. Growing up, my mom has always been like a naturalist, a herbalist, like everything is just natural to her, like from her skincare to medicinal. That's just always how it's been. So like I got intrigued in like just taking care of myself, especially my skin, because I want to be, like black don't crack. That's a fine line that I want to represent years from now. So um kind of led me to opening and beginning that tapping into that industry more so than anything. And I feel like my goal with Sultry Aesthetics is to create like a product line. So obviously like being able to provide those services, but I want to, especially for African American women, we suffer from a lot of things, especially the main issue is hyperpigmentation. So something that now that I have open this chapter, I want to begin to research and tackle into is how to prevent or like, what are some mechanisms to help aid that?
Yeah, especially with Black Don't Crack, we need our skin together.
Yeah.
When do you plan to launch that skincare line?
So my goal would be by the end of this year.
Mm.
Everything is just smooth sailing. But I just is when I feel like it's right, that's when I feel like it'll be launched. Cause I always feel like when certain things like this, you set a deadline, but if you want the longevity of things, it just when the time is right, then it's right.
That is so true, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. I know that it can be tough. So, how do you stay
Yeah.
focused moving forward and making progress regardless of not really knowing?
I think for me, I've become more accountable. Um,
Mm,
and like you said, like for entrepreneurs, because you're an entrepreneur yourself, like I think it can become overwhelming just because like we feel like we have to be or do so much or like we have to do it at this certain time. And I think for me personally, the more I started to crash and burn, the more I realized like just chill or like just reevaluate, just be like, okay, where did you make a right step or what did you do right? Or, how can you make this happen again? Or what can you do differently? So it's just like knowing what you're doing and either keep doing it or make some adjustments.
yes, making adjustments is the hardest part for me because I'm just like, well, I don't know what to adjust to. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've been doing so much adjusting. I don't even know like what works. And so, just figuring that out and trial and error with
Yeah.
it can be a little,
It's
like you said.
definitely trial and error though. You got it.
So, what are you most excited about at your job or your work right now?
I'm just excited about the growth. Like I feel like if you've been a part of my journey, if you've seen like a snippet, then you'll understand like the hard work and the dedication that I've put to it thus far. And so I feel like I'm getting in a place to where I'm understanding things
Yeah.
anything and it's helping me see the future because I think we are living in a world where social media which is a great thing, but I also feel like we get so that we get about reality. And so for me now it's staying in touch with reality to know it's like, okay, well, if 5 years from now, if Instagram doesn't exist, will your business still exist? You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Yes, cheers to growth. Because I feel like after this crazy past year of COVID, it's like I feel like you can only go up from here in
No, definitely.
anything that you do. So, um, if you could collaborate or cook with any person, dead or alive, who would it be? I know I put you on the spot.
You know, I'm an old soul, so I would honestly say Patty LaBelle because I feel like she has all the secret recipes and the old, just old time favorites. So I'll pick her because I like those classic, like, oh, you put sugar in your rice or something, like something like really?
You know what's funny? When you said Patty LaBelle, all I could think of were those pies that people went crazy for.
I know, the patty pies, girl.
I never had one, but I heard they were amazing.
I'm not a pie store-bought person, though, naturally.
Me too. I'm not gonna go to the store and buy a pie unless you make it at home and it's homemade and things of that nature.
Right.
So what can we catch you doing, or where can we find you on the weekends? What are you into?
Ooh. Okay, so no, I love hanging out. I love being with my people. It's like my friends, my family. But now I've like tackled in new interests within myself. So like now I like doing yoga and like doing, real activities, but more so I like working out. I love eating. So you can either catch me at a happy hour or booking a flight. Cause I mean, outside of COVID, prevented a lot of flight time, but usually like more than anything, I love to travel. I just love anywhere with the vibe. Like you can catch me where the vibe is at.
Yeah, I haven't seen you on Instagram. You be enjoying yourself. You be working out. You be cook.
You,
Y'all, if y'all listening, please just follow her on
thanks,
Instagram.
girl.
You will not regret it. You're always up to something fun. Like I always look forward to looking at your
Thanks, girl.
stories.
I'm like, one thing about it is she's gonna give me a message in day-to-day activity. It's gonna be something in there.
For sure, for sure. Just to close things up a little bit, I just want to know what is some advice that you have for someone wanting to start their own catering business or just any business in general?
Personally, I say to anybody who is just looking into business or entrepreneurship is know yourself, don't lose yourself, set yourself at a high standard.
Mm.
And it just keeping up with everything because like at the end of the day, as long as you remain true and authentic, those business opportunities are gonna overflow no matter what industry you're in. So I just say keep an open mind, network, like let's get a habit of not being too friendly, build these relationships because these could be people potentially that could put you in a position to win. So
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay?
Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's on period.
Girl, that was so good. That was so good. My last and final question, the hardest one of all. What does schooling the system mean to you?
Ooh, you know what, Pearl? I think schooling the system is a platform that is going to transition the way we look at things, whether it's math, sciences, business, leadership. I think that it holds a different weight because you're doing something that one, it's virtually connected. So you have to look at like the global aspect. And it's like you're doing something that is a necessity for all levels of education. So it's like whether you're in pre-K to 12th grade or whether you're in college or whatever you're outside of school, it's still a fundamental. So I think school system is in the bag.
All about learning, all about education. That's our motto.
Yes,
We're always going
exactly.
to educate in no matter form, no matter format, honestly. So
Yeah, and we need that.
thank you so much, Melissa, for
Thanks,
being on
girl.
our show. You are awesome. If y'all are looking for a caterer in Houston, if you're looking for an image consultant, if you need your skin done and pretty and beautiful, just like her.
You know,
Please, please, please follow her on all social media platforms that we will
yes.
list. And Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pearl, for having me. Just know, woman to woman, I see you and I love it. And I am delighted that you had me on your show.
For sure. Best of luck to you in all your businesses. Only upwards and forwards for you this year and forever.
Amen to that, sis. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.